Hi, Lewis. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. You?
I'm good. I'm good. So look, you're finally back in front of fans. You got you can see a smile on your face as well. You're back training in Newcastle. You got a new trainer. Looking back at your last fight with Vazquez, being totally honest, what was your thoughts on that fight? How it went down in terms of the result and everything?
Yeah, well, to be fair, I've obviously said a few interviews now that I think we've definitely got the rub of the green. We've got a bit of a gift, just a very lacklustre performance wasn't our best. Cleared into Vazquez's hands quite a bit in that fight, and it was just a horrible, boring fight. Really, it was just there's nothing more you can say. Usually, especially myself, I'm in entertaining fights forward to and wrong style, just wrong bit of everything really. So back me dad, new trainer, bit of a fresh start again, and hopefully we'll see the exciting Lewis again on the weekend.
Yeah, good stuff. And the opponent that you've got, it doesn't look like it's an easy test on paper. What do you know about him? What have you seen of him so far? He's undefeated. Have you seen much of him?
Yeah, one thing I never used to do was watch my opponents, but especially after the Vazquez, I've started watching them a bit now, and I would say he's just a carbon cut of myself. Likes to come forward, likes to get behind the jab, throw body shots. So what I've seen of him, if that's what he's going to fight like, it's going to be a very exciting fight and a very tough fight for the two.
And just a final one from myself. I mean, all roads possibly lead to Josh Taylor. What did you think of his performance against Ramirez, and when would you want that fight? I mean, you're not looking past Ponce, but what do you think?
I thought you made it a lot easier than what I thought it was going to be against Ramirez. Hopefully he does the right thing if I get past Ponce, moves up and weight and vacates the belt, because he's a special fighter, isn't he? And he's the top dog. Of course, we would fight him if I had to, but I'm hoping he moves up and leaves that belt vacant.
Lewis, all the best, mate, from the Boxing Voice, and let's see what happens on Saturday night. Cheers.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, we go to Danny Flexen for Seconds Out next week.
Hey Lewis, how you doing, mate?
Danny, you all right? How's it going?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Yes, I'm all right. Actually, good to see you. Good to hear from you.
And you, mate, and you. You talked about the Vazquez fight earlier. You were out for about a year before you got into that fight. Did that have any bearing on your performance, the inactivity?
Yeah, I think I mean, it's the same with him. He had a year out, but I think we're riding a bit on a bit momentum. We had a good win against Robbie. The crowds were going mad, and there was a lot of popular demand again, like there was at the lightweight. People were wanting to see a fight again, and I think the fight got rescheduled 3 times where I was never out the gym. Like at first I thought that was a good thing. I was never out. I was just staying in the gym, training hard, but maybe it had a bit of a bad effect on us. And I think definitely a little bit of part to play, but I think more like just Vazquez's style being completely wrong for me and me playing into his hands more than what I should have.
And you've mentioned there's been some changes in your camp since that fight. Just tell us why you decided to make those changes and what the changes are.
Yeah, I've just decided to go back to my dad now. So I've got the same team that I had won, who I boxed Robbie Barrett with and beat Robbie Barrett with, and then a few changes after that. But I'm back to that team now. I'm back to my dad full time, and just needed a fresh start. Me and my dad had a speak after the Vazquez fight. He mentioned a few things he wasn't very happy with, and that I wasn't happy with, and we just decided to give it one more try and to see how things were going. And camp's been great.
What have been the major differences in camp? Because you seem happier, you seem more, motivated. What's changed in camp?
You know what it is? It's just like I'm a family man. I'm in the gym, and then if I'm not in the gym, it's all about family. And I've got my little daughter at home now, and I'm around here all the time, and I've got another one on the way. And we've changed training up where I was, with Neil and my old trainer, I was on the pads every single day. We're just doing the same thing all the time. Where I'm back with my dad, we're back mixing things up, and it just seems to have just clicked.
And where do you see the 140-pound landscape shaping out? Because if Josh Taylor does decide to vacate, move up in weight or whatever, those belts will be all up for grabs. Have you thought about who you might fight should you win this for the vacant title?
Yeah, but I think I know the 1 and 2 in the IBF, there was nobody placed there in 3rd and 4th. Fought last week in 5th and 6th. It was me and Ponce. So if Josh moves up, then I'm expecting to fight the winner of last week's fight, which was the Puerto Rican. I can't remember his name. So obviously I've got to get past Ponce first, but I'm expecting the IBF to announce it really that we've got to get that fight done straight away. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that'll happen.
So in theory, you could be a world champion by the end of this year.
In theory, yeah. Hopefully, if all goes to plan, that would be ideal. But I've got to get past Ponce and maybe the Vazquez fight. There was a lot of names, a lot of fights getting mentioned, like Pro Grace and people like that. And even though you're not trying to look past Vazquez, you look at his record and think, I'm going to walk through it, which I did a little bit think. I'm going to walk through him. I'll have Pro Grey next, then we'll decide from there. So it's definitely something that we'll kind of look past Ponce, but I think the plan's already in place. If we do cut past him, then that'll be the next fight.
Great stuff, mate. Very best of luck for Saturday night. Can't wait to see it.
Thank you very much, Danny. Good talk to you.
And you, mate. Take care.
That's it.
Thanks, Danny. If we go to James Lupton from Pro Boxing Fans, please.
Lewis, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. You?
Yeah, very good. Thanks, mate. I've just got a few things. I want to sort of dig in a bit deeper into what's been asked already. The Vazquez fight, what was the thing that you learned the most from that?
Well, I learned a few things, to be fair, but not... If you look at obviously Vazquez's record before we fought, he was on a bit of a losing streak, bad run. But I hadn't really watched any of the fights. And to be fair, I thought he was finished. Thought, I've got nothing to do. Just going to walk in there, blast him out, and then we'll be on to bigger and better things. But obviously it didn't work like that. So just little things like that. You can't obviously overlook who's in front of you. Got to just keep your eye on the prize. And that's something we've definitely done for this fight. Has
your mindset changed towards your opponents now because of that?
Yes, 100%. I never ever used to watch fighters who I was fighting. Just to leave that to the team. I wasn't really bothered as long as I went in feeling good, feeling fit. That's all I used to care about. But, I've watched a few fights of Ponce now, which I would never usually do. So just little things like that. So the mindset's definitely changing. Just got to be more on the ball, really.
And I see back training with your dad. What's the biggest difference with training with your father?
Yeah, he just, like when I first went back with my dad, when I had left me else, we had few ground rules down and I stuck to them. But the more I was winning, the more knocking people out with that lightweight, I was sort of not sticking to any of it after a while, where this time, he said, look, any slack in any of this, you're out straight away. I want you there. I want you to train hard. And that's what we've done. We've trained up a little bit compared to my last trainer, where it was always just like pad work. I've not really done much pad work first fight, just a lot of bags, a lot of strength work, a lot of sprints and stuff. So hopefully we're going to get back to the old explosive Lewis that we're used to see.
Obviously, because he's your dad as well, how hard is that to split the professional and family relationship between the two of you?
Yeah, it is hard because, me and my dad, we're like best mates as well, really. We get on well out of the gym. I'm always at his, he's always at mine. So it's hard to get the right balance, and that's what was probably lacking the last time that I was training with my dad, where it started off, right, I'm your trainer, I'm not your mate. It sort of went there, we'll both become mates, and I will walk in the gym saying, I'm doing this today, and you go, yeah, neighbour, that's what you want to do. Where it's sort of, that hasn't been any of that this time. It's, I've got to do what he says, and if I don't like it, then there's the gym door. So we found that balance, and it's been good.
And finally, from me, you mentioned about you're missing your daughter when you was away with Neil Fannin. You're only home, I think, twice a week, things like that. A lot of fighters will relocate to get away from the distractions of family and children and things like that. For yourself, why is it the opposite?
I'm just, if I'm not in the gym, I'm around my family all the time. Doesn't matter if I've got my nieces, my nephews. I've got 3 sisters, I've got a brother. We're a very family orientated family, where if I'm not in the gym and I'm in the house and people ask for interviews and this and that, it's a point blank no. Gym time's gym time, family time's family time. And, I'm just being away for about 2 years, it was getting a bit hard. Every time I was leaving, she was crying, wasn't talking to us and stuff. So just gets to the point where I think you're better off around them and better off at home. And then that's one thing that I definitely think's been good with this camp as well. I've been finishing the gym and I've been going home and seeing my daughter, which I love. So I've been happy with that.
Has it given you a bit more motivation? Obviously, your kid's going to be your motivation anyway, but seeing them every day after gym, does that help yourself personally?
definitely 100%. You know, like if my daughter, I've always got my niece and nephews round, they all get on very well. And like I say, I'm like I say, if I'm not in the gym, I'm around my family. You know, like for selling thousands of tickets like I do, I haven't really got that many mates, to be fair. So it's like it's all about my family. So yeah, it gives you that extra motivation. And you know, like, you know, when they know you've got money in your pocket, you've got to get them stuff, haven't you? So she's not daft. She's only 3, but she's got a little shit in there, but she wants a new one. So got to keep making sure I win.
That's it, Lewis. Thanks for your time, mate. Best of luck.
Thank you very much, mate.
Thanks, James. If we go to Dona Corby next, please.
Hi, Lewis. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you?
Not too bad. I wanted to ask about how you coped with the fan sort of backlash from people after the Vazquez fight. Obviously, a lot of people were saying that you had lost, that it was a robbery. How did you deal with the way that the people were reacting to that fight?
Yeah, well, to be fair, it's hard. It's a hard one because obviously boxing fans, they all out the opinion, but there's a difference between opinion and then calling you worse than shite, really. And 80% of that was calling you worse than shite. Where I can take that. People say, "Oh, I thought Vazquez won. Ritson needs to improve." That's fine, you know. But it's like all the rest of it that comes with it. And you know, like I had people messaging my niece who's only 10. You know, like your uncle's this, your uncle's that. And I've just it gets a bit bang of water at times where, you know, I deactivated my Twitter for a little while, just let things brew over. And I don't usually do that. And one of the things I had to, because you're going to find yourself, you know, if you start writing back on one person, you need to write back on everybody. And some of the write backs I was doing weren't very nice, and it just gets to the point where you can't really be bothered.
So when people are messaging, like you say, your niece and stuff, you know, at any point were you considering like taking things a bit further, like message it, like, you know, getting, you know, other people involved or anything like that, or were you just thinking, I just have to get back in the ring and show everyone how good I am?
Yeah, a bit of both really at first. You know, I was, you know, like you're a boxer, you're a fighter at the end of the day, and people start giving you a knee stick or you stick, you sort of, you hit the roof, don't you, where it's come say it to my face, you'll get a slap and all that. And people aren't going to say it to your face. That's what the Twitter's there for. The Twitter's there for people to give you a stick, and you'll never see them before, you'll never see them again in your life. So, you know, just like calm down a bit, deactivate it, get back in the gym, and just show people this fight why it was only last year after Robbie Davis fight that everybody was talking about you in a good way.
How far do you think you are from getting a fight with Josh Taylor?
Well, I think there's getting a fight with Josh Taylor and getting a fight for the world title is two different things. I mean, there's a lot of kids that I would expect to be fighting for the world title. If I look in the IBF top 10, I'm not scared of any of them. But then you've got Josh, who's a champion, who's a little bit special, isn't he? He's beaten everybody. He's fought the best. So there's some people that you would want to avoid in boxing, and he's certainly one of them. But if Josh refused to give away the IBF and I had to fight him next, then if I get past Ponce, then so be it.
Thank you very much, mate.
Yeah, no, what?
Okay, if we go to Steve from Boxing UK next, please.
Hi, Lewis.
You mate, what's up, mate?
Hello, matey. How are you?
I'm all right, I am. Not too bad. How are you?
Not bad. First of all, Lewis, congratulations on the news, mate.
Yes, little incoming. End of August, start of September. So happy days.
Good man. Lewis, there's lots of people who talked about the underperformance last time and what have you. Just to sum it up, are you completely over that now?
Oh yeah, I was like I say, I was completely over in a few days, but it's just obviously, so Steve, do you know what the funny thing is? You get inboxes. I was getting inboxes like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning on Twitter, and quite a few of them off women, which I found quite like strange. You know, like you're shy, you're this, you're that, and I would say I probably got close to a couple of thousand messages on Twitter, right? No word of a lie, and about 1,000 of the messages before were people asking for signed gloves and saying you're the next best thing. And I was thinking, hey, messaging people back saying, look at the last message you sent me. And oh no, we got you wrong. You won't even win a British title. I think I've got one in the house. I've got one in the house for keeps. It was a bit strange, but yeah, I was over it. It was just more people hassling me niece and this and that, where it was a bit of bang out of order, but that's what social media is all about, I suppose, isn't it?
It is, mate. Has it been a conscious thing that you've been much quieter on social media since then than Lewis?
Yeah, like I say, I've only done one interview since the Vazquez fight, and that was for the British Boxing Blog, and I've done nothing else. I sort of said to myself after the last one, because I know a lot of social media, I'll not name them because I didn't know if they're going to get interviewed after this, but were giving us a bit of stick, and me and my dad just sat down and said, look, we'll keep the social media for the week of the fight when you've got to do it, and just concentrate getting the gym and train hard, and that's what I've done, and I feel better for it.
Good man. Lewis, you looking forward to coming home this weekend, and how much of a difference will the screaming Geordies make compared to the quiet atmosphere last time?
Massive, absolutely massive. Joes, I didn't think it would play a big of a part, and then when I was there in the bubble, it was honestly hot. It was one of the worst things I've done. Just and I'm a quiet kid to begin with, and I'm not one of these that goes out and parties and that, so I should be used to stuff like that, but it was terrible. So I'm glad to have 1,000 fans back in the Arrowbit noise.
Good man. And how much of an improvement will we see, Lewis? What can we expect at the weekend?
Hopefully just the Lewis that everyone's used to, really. Good explosive performance. You know, Robbie Davis fight punches and bunches, plenty of energy. That's what me and my dad are expecting, you know. We've changed training up a little bit, like I was saying before. Not as much pads as what we're doing with Neil. A bit more sprinting, a bit more explosive stuff, strength work and stuff. Got a proper strength and conditioner on board now. So we're hoping it all just comes together nicely, like a jigsaw. And the last bit of the puzzle's making weight, which I finished the gym the day and I was bang on 10 stone, so I was a little bit too late. So filled myself up a little bit. So just we're happy and we're flying, really. So if Ponce beats me, it won't be down to fitness or anything like that, just because he's the better man tonight. Good
man. And two more, Lewis. If you do get the win, people have talked about what's next for you, but do you still want St James's Park?
Yeah, obviously. I mean, St James's Park will keep winning, and we'll always want that. We'll always want to fight there. But I mean, I think we've got to actually have a world title to fight there. I don't think we could sort of sell it off and fighting for a vacant one. Or so. Hopefully, if I get past Ponce, get that world title fight at the end of the year, win that. Hopefully, the year after we can start dreaming about St James's Park, and I'll hold Eddie at them 8 houses that I set out to get off it.
We're still in for a cut for that one, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that I'll see him at the weekend. I want a Rolex as well. If I win the world title, so I see Neil Coley getting a Rolex. I want one, so I'll be pestering for that as well.
Good man. Last one. If it doesn't go your way, Lewis, would you fancy a money-making fight against one of these YouTubers?
I fancy one new. And the money you're making. Well, it is what it is, Steve. I mean, I'm not going to start getting into it because I'm totally against it. But we make enough money off the YouTube. Never mind coming into our sport and making a bit of a joke of it. But it is what it is. You know, people are saying we'll have new clientele and new fans, but you've seen yourself. They'll watch the YouTube fight and they're not watching another fight again. So we're not getting really any new fans of the sport because of it. And they're just making a mug out of it, really. But they're making a lot of money doing it. So fair play to them.
Good man. Lewis, it's been a pleasure, mate. And I'll see you on Saturday.
Yeah, see you on Saturday, Steve Spawn, mate.
Take care, mate.
See you in a bit.
Thanks, Steve. If we go to Ron Lewis from Boxing Scene next, please.
Hi, mate. Sorry about that. Hope you're well. Looking back at the Vazquez fight, two things. One, was it just a style that didn't suit you think? And do you think during the fight, the lack of a crowd sort of like affected you actually during the fight with your tactics?
Yeah, I think, Julius, we had planned on Vazquez, was watching him against, well, I didn't watch him, my coach watched him against Sahara. He's on the front foot, coming forward. And we were just absolutely convinced that that's what he was going to do. So all the sparring to the fight was people that stood there and had a fight with her. There was no back foot sparring, there was no nothing. And after 3 or 4 rounds of me thinking he's not coming forward at all, yeah. So it went just, yeah, where if the fans were there screaming and shouting, you could have probably went, right, come on, I need to step on the gas, yeah. Where it wasn't any of that, very lackluster, just bit of a pain in the arse, really. He had an answer for everything where really we should have halfway through the fight changed tactics and waited for him instead of us keep going to him. But it's one of them things where you live and learn, don't you? And very, very luckily we got the nod. We got a bit of a gift, but that's just the way boxing is sometimes.
Is it? Oh, absolutely. Is it something you've actually watched back on, or is it a video you never watch?
I'll never ever watch that. You know, I didn't watch it there. I went to my dad's a few days later and sort of said, "Oh, have you watched the fight?" And he went, "Oh, I've seen it." And I said, "What do you think?" And he said, "I can give you the nice way or the hard way." I said, "Just give us it the hard way." I said, "I've had that much stick on Twitter." He just says, "Look, son," he says, "you didn't win that fight, you know, but somehow you've got it, you know, you've getting away with it, and we're going to get in the gym and make sure that doesn't happen again." And that's the plan.
What are you expecting from Ponce? Is you know, is he going to pull the same one on you as well? You're expecting a guy who's going to come at you and suddenly he's going to get running around the ring.
I've seen quite a few of his fights, and I think he can only fight one way. Really, that's coming forward. You know, every fight I've seen, he's done the same thing. Where I'm hoping he can't do what Vazquez done because I'll be struggling again. But no, I think you know, I've seen a few interviews this week where he said that he's confident of stopping us out with 4-9 rounds. So I think he's got in his head that he's going to come have a go, and that's what we're going to do. So it should be an exciting fight.
Excellent. With obviously Josh Taylor, take us through your feelings of his fight with Ramirez, because now you're knocking on his door.
Yeah, well, I'm knocking on his door. I'm hoping that door doesn't, you know, he moves up a weight, and that door doesn't need to be knocked down. Do you know what I mean? So, but no, you know, I think the scorecards were a lot closer on what the fight actually made out. You know, I think he made quite not easy work of it, but I think he won a lot clearer than what everyone thought. And he had the 2 knockdowns as well, didn't he? So, you know, he's a special fighter, and he's done great. And I'm just hoping that he moves up and we can get a vacant belt.
When was the last time you sparred with him?
Before the Vazquez fight, you know, we're doing some. He was going to fight the Thai lad now. Was obviously penciling to fight Vazquez. So done a couple of 10 round on the Wednesday and an 8 round on the Friday, and the sparring went well. Don't get us wrong, but fighting's different to sparring, isn't it? And he's one of them that can obviously up his game a lot more in the fights than what it is sparring. So if somebody had said it was after sparring, would you fight Josh Taylor? I'd go, yes, absolutely. Then you're watching him fight and you think, well, keep away from him. But no, he's a nice lad, Josh, and I hope he does go to fight Terence Crawford and fight for his 4 belts as well, or however belts he's got. Excellent.
Take care, Lewis. Good luck Saturday, mate.
You too, mate. Thank you.
Thanks, Ron. If we go to Carlos Toro next, please.
Hey, Lewis, thanks so much for taking time to talk to us. Really appreciate it. You know, I wanted to first start off. I know you were struggling a little bit to think of the name of the fighter who won the eliminator last week, Subriel Matias.
Yes.
First of all, first I know you were aware that he won his fight. What do you think of Subriel's fight against Jukimbayev, which was I think a lot of people thought was one of the best fights of the spring so far.
Yeah, we're in a very tough division, aren't we? The 140-pound division. It's all the top names. You're going into fights and they're all 50-50, aren't they? But yeah, there's some special fighters, and I think I can remember the fight. Yeah, it was a good fight, and Joe, I think you see that Mathieu who fought last weekend, and he stopped his lad, didn't he? He had a good win. So I think every fight has a dangerous fighter, and you just got to pick of the draw, really, who you get.
It almost sounds like you're kind of expecting Josh Taylor to sort of move up and wait before you get your opportunity to fight for the titles. And so if that's the case, you probably might fight Matias. How do you sort of look at that potential fight against Subriel Matias?
Yeah, well, I think it's got fireworks written all over it if it happens. If he's an absolute massive puncher, comes to fight, comes to have a go. And, we're not as big as puncher as him, but we've got the same sort of style where we come to have a go. And I think it will be fireworks, and I think it's going to be the same this week. Ponce comes to fight, I come to fight. So, we're like all in the mix. I think we're all not far off each other, and it's going to lead to some exciting fights down the line.
Going back to sort of the backlash that you kind of got on social media over the Vazquez fight, did it kind of change as a fighter, I guess, and an athlete with a public platform on Twitter? Does it kind of change your outlook as to how you view and how you use social media? Because I know you said that you kind of deactivated or locked down your Twitter for a short while after that fight. Did it kind of change your outlook on all of that?
Yeah, it does. I didn't use Twitter much beforehand anyway. I do the odd comment on Newcastle or the odd comment on the boxing. But then, from I've deactivated, I've come back on. I'm very rarely on it. I just have the odd look of Matchroom produce something. I share it. I like it. And that's about as good as it's going to get for me now. It's when people are slating you left, right, and centre, and you don't really want to go on a day anyway. So yeah, it's definitely changed my look on it, and it's just a thing that I'll use to promote the fight I'm in every now and then. But apart from that, that's all social media is to me now.
It's been almost 2 years since you last fought in Newcastle. Obviously, you had to fight last year in between. But how different does it sort of feel this time around compared to your last time out in Newcastle? Do you kind of think that at one point last year that you might not get a chance to fight here in front of fans again, or would you have to wait a long time to get that opportunity?
Yeah, it looked like it was gonna be a very long time. You start thinking to yourself, "Oh, I don't want to do too many fights in the bubble with no crowd there because it wasn't very nice. It wasn't my cup of tea." And there's been a few fighters come up and upset the apple cart, hasn't it, on the matchroom shows with the bubble being there. So I'm just thankful fans are there because it does make a massive difference. And yeah, it's only 1,000, but you'll be able to hear them screaming and shouting, and that's probably what I need as a fighter.
Thanks, Lewis. Best of luck on Saturday.
Yeah, thank you very much, mate.
Okay, if we go to Ames from Boxing News TV next, please.
Pleasure to speak to you, Lewis. How's life treating you?
Yeah, treating us all right. How's yours?
Yeah, not too bad at all. Thank you for asking. I just want to talk a little bit about what the other of my colleagues have picked up on, this being the Miguel Vazquez fight. Do you, in a sense, bear, because of the way the fight happened, how it played out, do you bear that on your shoulders coming into this fight?
No, I don't bear it on my shoulders, but I know that I need to put a good performance up. We're gonna have to win. We're gonna have to win convincingly. We're gonna have to just show people, especially when I was lightweight and after the Robbie fight, why people were like back talking about it again. We put a fight the year performance in against Robbie, then for your next one to be that performance against Vazquez was disappointing for myself, really. So we know that we're gonna have to put a big performance in, and put a big performance in and win good. You're still gonna have people mentioning the Vazquez fight and but he got beat off Vazquez's last fight before, so it's always going to be there with you. But you just gotta get on with it.
Mm-hmm. And talking about the backlash and what happened with people messaging family members and things like that, did that get you down?
Yeah, my niece is only 10 years old. She's got 2 hearing aids in. She's a little bit deaf, and you're getting people slating me to her. It just not very nice, really. It just get you down, because I don't really want to start telling my 10-year-old niece to deactivate your Instagram account, do this, do that. Because it's not my place to do that. But people really shouldn't have been messaging her. I mean, I got thousands, and it just, it does go on your shoulders, does get you down, but get to a point where I've got to, like me, I deactivated it, went off it for a couple of months and just totally forgot about it, and then sort of like fresh start, and you're back on it, but not as vocal as what you were, and just let people know that you're still there, but you're not going to listen to the crap that they're going to give you.
Speaking of Ponce, your opponent at the weekend, are you wary of him? Because he's looking at his record, he's kind of unheralded. Looks like he's been, knocking out opponents, got a decent record there, undefeated himself. We've seen fighters coming over these shores and getting these upsets. Are you aware of him because of, that trend recently of those upsets? And do you see that potential, or do you have that caution? Yeah,
definitely 100%. I mean, if you look at the opponents that have been coming over and causing upsets, I know records off for DJs really, but Ponce's had a better record than all of them that have caused the upsets. He's 27 wins, 17 knockouts. So very, very wary. He's going to come over. He'll take confidence from seeing the upsets. and we're just going to be on the game and make sure that we're not going to let him cause an upset.
I just want to talk about your former opponent in the form of Robbie Davis Jr. That fight was a real kind of crossroads fight for you, both you and him. You've been on the up since that fight, and for himself, he's been on the down, unfortunately, and hopefully that'll pick up for him. But that could have been you in a sense. So do you kind of look at that? And obviously, we wish Robbie Davis Jr. the best, but just a word and kind of what could have been.
Could have been me. Like, there's a lot of people make argument with me and Robbie, but Robbie's a nice lad. He is. Where he had a bit of animosity, but just a fighter's animosity where I thought I could beat him, he thought he could beat me, and it sort of spiraled over a little bit. But yeah, if you look at him, he didn't get the decision. It was a close fight. He didn't get it, and sort of he hasn't got a trainer, he hasn't got a manager. It sort of went downward spiral for him, where we've got very fortunate got the decision, and we've sort of moved on from it. Do you know what I mean? And got a harder fight on paper, and it's for a big reward of a win. So yeah, ups and downs. If Vazquez had got that nod, we wouldn't be getting this chance that we have now. So like I say, we're just very fortunate.
And as a fighter who's coming back to his hometown, who's coming back to a place where there are going to be fans back for the first time, do you think you'll find it hard to maybe, if you're under strict instruction from your trainer, because you'll hear the roar of the crowd, you might kind of chuck off the instructions, just go for the kill? Yeah,
I've already had the stern warning off my trainer, my dad, saying it's going to be loud in there. It always is. Try and stick to a bit of a game plan that we stick to. Don't, if you catch them easy, I've been bad of it in the past. If I'm catching somebody relatively easy in the first couple of rounds, going straight in for the kill, and they're not coming off. So it's definitely something that we're gonna do. Stick to the plan. It doesn't matter how loud the roar is. Tunnel vision, and hopefully it all comes off on Saturday, and we'll get that win.
Wish you all the best, Lewis. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, Lewis, thanks for your time, mate. And we'll see you in the bubble later this week. Top man.
Yes, no bother, mate. Thank you, Dan. See you.